Life Talks with PB, Episode 8. Decision, the power to choose your direction. Welcome back to Life Talks with PB. We have been building this journey one idea at a time. Started with desire, followed by faith, then auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning. These were some of the episodes I had released. And if you haven't been following, you can always go back to my channel or my website to have the video, and of course, if you like, do share it with someone in need. And today we come to something that connects all of them: decision. Because having desire is important, having faith is important, learning is important, planning is important. But eventually, there comes a moment when you have to say, this is what I'm choosing. And that moment can change everything. The power of decision. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill called this chapter on decision the mystery of procrastination. That's a powerful way to describe it because procrastination isn't always about laziness. Sometimes we simply afraid to choose. We keep thinking, we keep researching, we ask for another opinion, we wait for the perfect moment, and eventually weeks become months and months becomes years. Hill wrote that this analysis of more than 25,000 people who had experienced failure was lack of decision was one of the major cause of the failure. That's a serious thought. Not because every decision has to be perfect, but because constant hesitation can quietly become a lifestyle. Motivation. Decide what it matters to you. Let's start with the first part of Life Talks with PB's framework. Motivation. We often think motivation means feeling excited, but sometimes motivation is much simpler. It's just knowing this matters to me. Maybe there is something you have been thinking about for a long, long time, like I said, a career, business idea, a new skill, an upgrade, healthier lifestyle like exercising, maybe creative projects, or any other personal goal. You don't necessarily need to know every step when you start. You need to decide whether it's important enough to deserve your effort. That's where motivation becomes powerful. Because when something genuinely matters to you, you don't need someone to push you for every second. The reason itself begins to pull you forward. So you ask yourself, what is important enough for me to stop postponing? Not everything, just one thing. Mindset. Don't let other people make your decisions. Now let's talk about mindset. One of Hill's ideas that feels surprisingly modern in his warning about allowing other people's opinion rather, to influence your decision. Think about today's world. We are surrounded by opinions, social media, news, comments, reviews of friends, family, colleagues. Everyone has an advice for you. And sometimes, without realizing it, we start building our life around what other people think we should be doing. Hill wrote back then, opinion are cheapest commodities on earth. That's a line worth remembering. Advice can be valuable, experience can be valuable, learning from others is smart. But there's a difference between listening to people and letting people choose your life. A strong mindset says, I'll listen, I'll learn, I'll think, and I'll decide. You don't need everyone's approval to make a move. Sometimes you simply need enough confidence to trust your own judgment. Growth. Not every decision will be perfect. Now, here's something important. Making decision doesn't mean you'll always make the right one. You won't. None of us will be able to do that, honestly. Sometimes we choose the wrong job, sometimes, a wrong strategy, a wrong opportunity, a wrong business decision. Sometimes we start something and then discover this isn't for me. I'm sure everyone has been there. And that's okay. Because growth isn't about making perfect decisions, growth is learning from the decisions we make. You decide, you experience, you learn, you adjust, and you become wiser than what you were the day before. Think about this way: a person who never decides may avoid some mistakes, but they also avoid many opportunities to learn. Like, many of us have done that. A person who thoughtfully decides and learns from the outcomes develops something much more valuable than an average one. That's an experience. So don't demand perfection from yourself, demand learning. Mental peace. Decision can quiet the mind, let me tell you. And now we come to something exceptionally important for all of us: mental peace. Have you ever had a decision, sitting in your mind for weeks, for months? Or you think about it in morning, you think about it at night. Imagine one outcome that you wanted to have, and then another one, you ask someone, then you ask someone else, and somehow you're still standing in the same place. That consistent uncertainty creates mental noise. Sometimes we don't need more information, we just need clarity. And the clarity doesn't mean knowing exactly what will happen. There's difference between certainty and clarity. Certainty says, I know what will happen. Clarity says, I know what I'm choosing. You may not know the outcome, but you know your direction. And sometimes that's enough to give your mind some peace. The Life Talks with PP decision method. So let's make this a practical, exercise. Take one decision you have been postponing, not your entire life, just one decision, and ask yourself 4 questions. Do you really want it? Not what looks good, not what everyone respects. Do I want, like you, right? Maybe second question you should be asking is, why does it matter to me? Now this is a meaningful reason creates a very strong commitment, right? The second question, or the third question rather, you should be asking is, what I need to know before deciding. Yeah, you need to get the facts together, learn if you're able to, overcome the obstacles, sorry. Ask questions to, people around you. On the internet you can find so much of information, but know when your research has become another form of postponement. Yeah, don't let that happen. Fourth question you should be asking yourself is, what am I going to choose? Eventually you have to answer, because information can prepare you, but your decision can move you. Hill's message, and I can quote what he has written: those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want and generally get it. It's a very simple line, my friends, and I must say that if you haven't heard it, you need to go back, listen to the line again, and of course, um, they know what they want is what you need to take back from this lesson, or this chapter rather. That's important. Decision isn't about rushing, it's not about being careless, it's not about developing clarity around what matters, and then having uh, the courage to choose it. Think carefully. Get the information you need. Listen to people you trust. Then decide. And once you decide, don't keep reopening the same question every single day. Give the decision a fair chance. Finally, one decision can change your direction, is what I'm going to leave a note with you today. Your life doesn't always change throughout one dramatic event. Yeah, it's not cinema. Sometimes it changes quietly. You decide to learn, decide to apply, decide to start. You decide to leave something that's no longer serving you. You decide to have a difficult conversation. You decide to take yourself seriously. And nobody may even notice that moment. But you know that because something changed inside you. You move from maybe someday to I'm closing this today. And that's powerful. One final thought, so today I want you to think about, that one thing that you always thought of and you've been postponing. Don't make it because you haven't made it because you're afraid. Yeah. Don't make it because everyone else is doing it. And don't wait for the perfect certainty. Think, understand, choose, and move forward. Yeah, because you don't need to know the entire road before taking the next step, as I said earlier. You simply need to know what's the direction that you want to go, and that's where motivation gives you purpose, mindset gives you confidence, growth gives you the willingness to learn, and mental peace gives you the ability to move forward towards carrying endless doubt. So remember, you can you cannot control everything or every outcome, but you can always control your willingness to choose your direction. And sometimes the next chapter of your life doesn't begin with a big opportunity, but it begins with a big decision. This is Life Talks with PB, motivation, mindset, growth, and mental peace. One conversation at a time. And as always, never give up. I'll see you soon on episode 9. If you have been liking my work, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends or family member, or perhaps a few people that we mutually know, so that if they haven't joined me, they will join this community building. And I hope to have a good friends and family circle back with us. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.